look good? Do we look good? I feel like every show there's a new setup. Every show. But all right. All right. Just got everything. Share this real quick. Boom. Just every time. Every goddamn time. Do. Where's everybody at? I feel like we went a little bit later today. Everybody's probably like, what the fuck, dog? It's 9:30.
It's 8:30.
Whatever. I've been eating meat today. All right. Well, there was an error loading comments. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? So does that mean that can I not see the comments? If somebody's in the room real quick, we just set this whole new thing up real quick. Can somebody just throw a comment up there like, hey, how y'all doing? How's everybody night? Something quick. You know what I'm saying? And I can see if it's coming through. No? Boom. There it is. All right, what up, Bruce? Appreciate it. All right, man, we about to get started. What up, y'all? Man, it's your boy Black is the Black Opinionated podcast, a.k.a. The Bop. Kitchen's in the building again. You know what day it is. It is our perfectly shit-talking day.
I love talking shit.
I love it. It literally lets me get away from the week.
Yeah.
And I forgot to hit record, and you forgot to tell me.
I did forget to tell you.
But it's okay. We'll just add it back in post.
It's cool.
Yeah, it all works. So let me tell you what happened. Did 2 shows the other day. I produced somebody's show, and then I had my own show, right? Tell me why midway through the show, the memory card got corrupted, and I lost everything. The second show, right? So my show that I was doing, the memory card got corrupted doing my show. Went back to the show that I did beforehand. Files were gone.
Nothing.
But everything before that was still there. It was just the show that I produced and the one I did that day. Luckily, by the grace of God, this program records the video onto your hard drive. So I just yanked the audio off the video. What'd that say? Update it? Yeah, it's probably going to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to make a lot of moves because we're working off of a different computer today.
Yeah, which was kind of great because I did not have to bring. You see how light I packed today?
Yeah, you packed pretty light.
And I carried it all by myself.
It was like 2 bags?
2 bags.
2 bags.
Because I don't count the bag for the light.
Nah. That one don't count.
2 bags, a tripod, and a light stand. That was it.
It's not bad.
great day. It's a great day.
Hold like 6 wires.
And it was all color coded. It was nice. Good nice.
Making moves.
Yes. But tonight we're going to be talking about the school system that we all have to deal with and how fucked up it is. And the reason I want to talk about it tonight, because I was listening to somebody else's podcast. Shout out to the Officially Street podcast. I was listening to their podcast, and they had a guest, and she was talking about how she's still paying back her student loans at $300-something a month, and they will not give her any type of discount because she can technically afford it.
Right, due to what she went to school for and what she's qualified to do, which I think is the biggest load of horse shit. And even in the job field, man, it's like that. It's like you can. I don't know if everybody knows this. I'm sure somebody out there knows. I know you know it. I know it. But you can actually get turned down for a job for being overqualified.
That don't make no sense to me.
No, when the unemployment rate is at well, not so much anymore. It's dropped. But when it was at astronomical numbers, and like 9 point whatever % of people were unemployed. If I walk into Amazon, I don't give a fuck if I was a rocket scientist before I walked there. Apparently, I lost my job and I needed a form of employment. You cannot tell me that I'm overqualified.
Yeah, and then what you go to school for, most people never come out and do. Or you come out and do it, and it's not enough to pay the bills because you're entry level.
I'm still paying on a loan for cosmetology school, and clearly I am not cutting hair any longer.
Well, let me tell you something crazy about fucking Sally Mae. They're not Sally Mae no more. I think it's Navient now. But
either way, she's a bitch. I don't like it.
I graduated in 2008, right? Our favorite word is forbearance. Mm-hmm. Right? So in the beginning, you defer it. Mm-hmm. Right, and then you go to forbearance. Yeah, so I was deferring
the fuck out of mine.
I was deferring the shit out of my loans. Right, deferring, because the amount that they wanted me to pay, there was no way I was making. I think my bill was like $400 and something a month.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Right, so then I graduated, and like I said, I graduated in 2008 from Universal Technical Institute, right in Exton, right, to be a mechanic. Couldn't get a job because that was right around the time the depression hit, or the recession. Should have called it the fucking depression because that's all everybody walked around in. But
Facts.
The recession hit, so nobody was hiring mechanics because nobody was buying new cars or buying cars. They was literally buying these beaters and running them into the dirt and then just going and spending another $1,200 on another one. Mm-hmm. So nobody was fixing cars. I even went to a dealership, Union Honda, and the shop manager was like, bruh, I would hire you, but you might work here for 2 weeks. I'm firing people like now as we speak. I was like, damn. So that never happened. So yet again, deferred my loans. Now let me tell you where Sally Mae is a bitch. So I'm calling in deferring my loans. They're saying, yeah, okay, we pushed it. Come to find out, these niggas was only deferring the federal side of my loans, not the private loans. Mm-hmm. So I defaulted on my fucking private loans.
Right.
And when I called them, like, I thought y'all were deferring. They're like, oh, you have to let us know. How am I don't know that.
I'm deferring my loan. All of them. Both of them.
Before we dig any deeper, tonight's drink of choice is
it's a Yingling night. Yeah, we're going to have to find.
Probably going to be drunk off of like 3 beers because
he's struggling.
New diet.
He's struggling. He's hurting over here. Yeah, but I think the crazy part is like, on top of having to pay the loan, then you end up paying so much interest back on top of the loans, which I think blows my fucking mind that you can even do that. That shit should be illegal. But like my loan, I got lucky actually being able to get a grant, I think. Yeah, it had to be a grant. I can't remember. It's so long ago. But I mean, the entire loan. So I went to school, and then I left school, and I came back to school. So that added on to my loan. So I think all in all, ended up being like $20,000 or something like that. But now it's getting to the point where, all right, so I managed to work out a payment plan with them to where my payment was affordable, because at first it was like $200 some a month.
Right.
I'm like, I can't. I'm like, dude, I'm working. First of all, I'm working part-time here, part-time there. I'm like, I can't afford $200 some a month. They were like, all right, well, we can get it as low as. First of all, when they say we can get it as low as, you're never going to get the payment that they say following them.
You're never getting that shit.
Because they said we can get it as low as $20 a month. And I was like, all right. Well, at that point in time, I was working basically off of tips at the salon and part-time at Kildare's and I think one other place at the time. And, I mean, I couldn't have been making no more than maybe $1,500 a month.
Right.
At that point in time. I mean, times was hard. And they were like, oh, yeah.
And this is before taxes.
Right. And we're like, oh, all right. Well, you know, after factoring in this and that and blah, 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 they're like, we can get you as low as $75 a month. I'm like, hold the fuck up. How broke do I have to be to make it $20 a month?
Right.
You said you can get it as low as 20, but I'm getting like 20 hours a week, and you're gonna make it 75. Like, they're shysters, man. They want their money, and they want it now. JG Wentworth.
God damn it! I was about to say that. I was like, what the fuck is that commercial? No, but that's it. And then, I mean, we can even go. All right, so we talked about college and secondary schooling and everything else like that. Let's take it even a step back to grade school and high school. Even when you were in grade school and high school, the system is set up for people who think differently to fail.
Yeah.
If you now and the crazy part is they tell you that there's a million different ways that people learn.
Oh, yeah, you can be anything when you grow up.
Right. There's everybody learns different, but they only teach you one way. One way. And I know when I was growing up, you had to make it through 9th grade to even get to vocational school. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy because I went to Votech. I went to Cat Brandywine out in Coatesville. I went for, at the time it was called Electronic Systems Technology. Pretty much it dealt with anything fucking electronic. We built computers, put in car audio systems. If it was electronic and it had wires, we were working with it. I was a terror in high school because I was bored. I didn't like school.
It didn't appease your interests. There was nothing to keep your attention.
Right. So, but then when I went to Votech, I was a straight A fucking student. Mm-hmm. My mom would call, or she would get a phone call, literally, almost either the same day or 24 hours worth of each other, about how in Votech he's a great kid. We love having him in class. High school call. We have to get him out of here. He needs to go to like they wanted to put me in the juvenile school. But I was bored. Because I couldn't sit in a classroom and just try to regurgitate information.
Yeah, no, that's it. You know, I had the same issue. I wasn't so much a terror as I was just not really giving a shit. And it clearly showed because when I had incentive, I gave a shit. Football season, I was a B student.
Soon as football season was over.
Soon as football season was over, season D's. Mm-hmm. And I was holding on by the skin of my teeth. Actually, I for one, I stood up for myself my sophomore year of high school. I'll never forget this. Dr. Bollinger was my teacher. And anybody that's ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I feel like most people have seen that movie because it's a classic. And if you haven't, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're retarded.
Ben Stein. Everybody know who Ben Stein is. Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller.
I hope people know who
Monotone. He, just real. That's who Bollinger was. He was monotone. He was the guy that, he didn't teach. He wrote stuff down. He wanted you to copy it and then basically teach yourself, which I think is the biggest load of horse shit.
Because you're in school to learn.
Yeah, I'm in school to learn. So you're supposed to make this interactive for me to want to be a part of what you're doing here. And you're completely getting away from that by just making me write shit down all day. I failed that class. that's the only class I've ever failed in my entire school career. Well, not that class in particular. I skimmed by. Yeah, Marco knows. I skimmed by the skin of my teeth my sophomore year. At the end of my sophomore year, I went to my guidance counselor. And I sat down with my guidance counselor and I told her, I said, I cannot have him again because I cannot learn from him.
Right.
Look, I'm a visual learner. It's the way some people can hear things and it processes and they remember it. Me, I got to see it. Put it on paper for me. Draw a picture. Show me a video. Anything of that sort. And it helps me connect your words to what's I'm happening. Trying to fucking visualize.
Right.
That's the way I've always been. I'm not dumb. I'm not completely lazy. That's the way I pick up things. I remember things by vision. And he was just not one. He just talked and talked and talked and talked. And he would write on the board and then talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'm like, dude, I can't do it. They gave me him anyway my junior year. And I failed his class. And then I had to go to the principal and my guidance counselor and everything just to get them to like go back and remember this conversation that I had requesting not to have him.
Yeah, and the fucked up part is is nothing that they were doing wrong. It was all on you. Well, you should be able to do it like this.
Yeah,
no,
I'm a poor student at that point.
I don't learn like that.
No, and that's the thing is not everybody learns the same. I learn one way, you might learn another way. But
yeah, you got to tell me what to do. You got to give me an instruction and then set me loose and let me do it.
Right. I mean, you can only sit there and talk about the judicial system for so many minutes before I just start dozing off.
Right. For I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah. I mean, U.S. history, all right,
you know
certain aspects is interesting. But
back in was it 8th grade? I'm pretty sure it was 8th grade. I taught myself how to speed read. Because I hated reading so much. I taught myself how to
pick up the major points as you go through.
Like, right, you just go through the pages. If I see a person named more than one time, a couple of times, okay, they're important.
They're a major character.
Right. So, and I would always finish the book before the whole class, and then I would goof off. But then I would ace the fucking test, but I would never do the homework. And the teacher used to be like, the teacher honestly thought I was fucking cheating at one point. So she gave me a whole nother book the one time and set me in a whole nother room from the class. I did the same thing. Read the book super fast. She gave me the test. I passed that bitch. She literally was like, I don't understand why you're failing my class. I said, because I hate it here. Like, I hate it here. I dropped out. I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out. And I don't see anything wrong with that as long as you continue on to something with your life. I don't be a high school dropout and just be a bum on the couch. But I dropped out in high school. Then I got my GED.
Statistic.
Right. Yeah. Don't become a statistic. So I dropped out in high school. And then got my GED 2 years later. Never took a GED class. My mom was like, "Why are you not getting your GED?" I was like, "I don't have the money for it." My mom said, I'll pay for it if you go take if you sign up for your GED test right now, I'll pay for it. I called them. Yeah, I'm gonna take my GED test. Dog, they give you so many minutes on each section, right? Whatever they gave me on each section, I was literally out of there in a quarter of the time. I scored so goddamn high on my GED test. I have a state diploma from Pennsylvania for high school. And they're like, why couldn't you just graduate school? I fucking hated school.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the public education system, and I can't speak for anybody. I mean, if anybody went to private school, I don't know.
Out of that.
I can't connect with you. I don't know. Shoot something in the comments to let us know if it was kind of the same thing for you. But I think the public schooling system it's structured in a certain way that just it makes
public school is structured joke. Like jail.
Yeah, it is. It's designed to bring you in, keep you. Everybody remember when you were a kid, when you were in elementary school, anytime you left your classroom and went somewhere, what they force you to do? Get in a straight line and line up against a wall. I guarantee you right now, you go down the county when they're moving the moving prisoners from their pod to the mess hall. Get in the line, hands behind your back, against the wall. You know what I mean?
Eyes forward. And they train you to move at a certain sound. Ring the bell. You get up, everybody moves.
A bell or a horn.
You have to make it to your next class before that bell goes off again.
Right. And in a timely fashion. I think we had
you get to lunch
3 minutes.
You get to lunch. Everybody's in line. You have so long to eat.
30 minutes.
And
if you don't get back in time, there's consequences.
Yeah, you're fucked. I'm sorry for enjoying my meal.
Right. I like the pizza here.
Right. Especially on pizza day. God damn.
We had the best chicken salad wraps. That was literally I would go to my normal lunch meal. They had these banging ass chocolate chip cookies. And I know Marco knows about this because chocolate chip cookies were hitting. I would get 8 of them bitches. But she would always give me 10 because Barb loved me. And then I would get the cheese fries with a side of marinara sauce.
Oh,
but
I had last lunch.
If they had fucking chicken, I had last lunch one time and it was terrible. There was nothing left.
Yeah, but I love the lady who did the snack line because I would always wait to the end and she would just give me the bag of sugar cookies. Yeah, I loved her.
You know what's crazy? My entire high school career, I never went through the actual lunch line. I always went to the snack line.
Yeah, it's always snack line.
Always snack line.
Only time I ever went to the lunch
Fruitopias. You remember fucking Fruitopias?
Yeah, we didn't have them at our school though.
Yo, Fruitopia. That was the only drink like that. We had a soda machine, but it never worked. I'm pretty sure they just put it there to give us hope.
They put soda machines in our school my 10th grade year, so here's the thing: they put soda machines in our school.
You weren't allowed to lose it.
Then we weren't allowed to fucking use it.
You weren't allowed to use it until after a certain time. And then they tell you couldn't use it and you couldn't bring beverages into the classroom.
Why would you put it in my vicinity?
Maybe I want an ice cold Coca-Cola, you asshole.
Dre, what up?
Oh, what up, Dre?
So
drop the album.
And here's
fighting you
on fucking site. I feel like I'm cool with you now that I got my niggas back, bro. You gonna drop this album is on fucking site. So, and now you know the crazy part. When we were growing up, our school actually had supplies. They would send everybody home with a little list, and that would be your list that's what you needed for yourself.
Right.
Now they send kids home with lists for the whole class.
Yo, you know what? And I don't. Maybe it's because I never really paid attention to that because I knew as long as I had a couple notebooks and some pencils and a pen and shit like that, I knew that I was straight. But so my son started kindergarten this year, and they ask every parent they give you a list of the supplies that your child needs, and then they give you a list, and you have to buy at least one of these items for the classroom, whether it be
a box of
tissues, a large thing of hand sanitizer, Clorox wipes, that sort of thing. Now, don't get me wrong. That I'm not putting that on.
I don't put that on the teachers.
No, because the public schooling system is so poorly fucking funded, and that's the reason why. A lot of people don't realize. Any of my teachers can vouch for me out there. They buy all their shit.
Yeah, teachers do.
Yeah, so when you walk in, you're like, man, this classroom is decorated really nice and yada yada yada. Yeah, they bought all that shit.
Yeah, now imagine they have to buy all that shit, making $30,000 a fucking year.
Right, because the salary for I didn't realize that until I got older, until I was old enough to go to the bar, and I realized some of my teachers were bartending during the summertime and shit because
to make extra money.
They needed extra money. They were working part-time jobs during the summertime or even during the school year, working part-time jobs.
And it's a fucked up system.
Yeah, because who should be who do you pay more? It blows my mind. You look at the money that certain people make. The people that are teaching your children,
right, about to send out these doctors and everything to the world,
right,
is making
and not even enough to cover their student loans. Because, I mean,
and
you
that's
go to college for 4 years.
And that's the biggest fucking downfall.
Right.
Is you go through school, we'll say what? We'll, if you don't go to preschool, we'll put it from kindergarten on. So you go to school for 13 years, right? Then this whole 13 years that you're in school, all you're hearing is, well, once you get done this school, you got to go to school again for another at least 2 years.
Yeah, if you want to do something semi-successful.
Right. For at least 2 years to get an associate's.
Right.
Then if you want to go further than that, you got to go for 4 to get your bachelor's. Then you got to go for 6 to get your master's.
Yep.
Then you got to go for 8 to get your doctorates.
All for a small price of $40,000 a year.
For a maybe. And for a maybe, though. You're not even talking 40 grand a year or 30 grand a year. You're talking a maybe. I might graduate and be able to find a fucking job in what I'm doing. Right. If somebody says, oh, yeah, we're willing to give you a shot. But the other fucked up part is you can't get the shot because you don't have the experience, but you don't have the experience because nobody's giving you a fucking shot. So now you're back in debt. So it's a vicious fucking cycle that we keep sending these kids through.
So the two things that actually that are fairly, I don't want to say easy to get a job in, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but education and the medical field. If you're going to go to college, if you're going to spend all that dumbass money, don't go get a fucking civil fucking arts degree or whatever the fuck, a liberal arts degree or go. I mean, yeah, could you do something being a civil engineer?
Yes.
Yeah, you could. But you know how hard your job search is going to be? It's going to be hard.
Prime example.
I thought about going for education myself.
Your brother.
Yeah. And he is one of the smartest people I know.
Just graduated college with a fucking engineer degree.
Yep, associates in engineering.
He came to us, 2 weeks ago, was like, I can't find a job. We literally looked at him and was like, welcome to the real world.
Yeah, now you got to go get. And it's crazy because you look at a lot of them. When we were working at Kildare's, we knew so many people that attended University of Delaware, got their degree, and then turned around and we're still working at the bar.
Right.
You know why? Because they made more money working at the bar than they would have going and taking an internship. Because most things like that, like people don't realize, like you go for business or something like that, you're taking an internship coming out of college. You ain't getting paid.
No, they have to pay you by law now.
Do they have to pay you by law? I wasn't aware of that. But I don't know what that is.
Who is that? I'm new on Twitch, so not quite sure what that emote means, but we're gonna figure it out, my guy.
But outside of that, I mean, not to get too much back into college because college is a whole thing. And to be honest with you,
fucking scam.
To be honest with you, stop telling your kids they got to go to college to be fucking successful because they don't. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's more shit you can learn on YouTube than you can learn in college.
Now I swear to God, I wish now I would have knew back then because I would have saved so much money and time.
Fucking dollars.
Just taking online classes real fast. Like I can't even call them online classes. They're just courses that random people put out that are way more informative than going to class because they're like. Dog, I was learning Da Vinci. I'm trying to learn Da Vinci Resolve, right? So I bought a course online. I think I paid like $30 for it. Literally, the first thing in the course was like, so we're not going to worry about all these buttons over here because you don't need them. Right? He was like, you'll learn them later on, but we don't need them for what we're teaching. All right, cool. And then I like them because they're like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're trying to accomplish, so let me show you how to get to our goal.
Yeah, how do we get from point A to point B? I just want everybody to know, I still haven't used algebra yet.
Bruh.
I haven't used no kind of calculus. I can't tell you when the Great Wall of China was built. Like, these aren't things, like, yes, is it valuable information? Yes.
It's good to know.
It's good to know. But at this point Unless I was going to be a history major and go teach history,
or if you really need
none
to
of that
know it,
shit fucking matters.
I feel like the shit they teach you in school is for the niggas that get on Jeopardy.
Right. Yeah, I feel like Rosie Perez. Foods that start with the letter Q.
Right.
Like, no, I don't need
King
that.
Wall.
A quint.
What is a quint?
I don't know. Ask Rosie. Gloria.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
You happen, Billy. I think, and what makes it worse is, so anybody like in the past, I would say in the past like 10 years, there's been an epidemic of overcrowding in schools and stuff like that. And what makes it worse is because of the poor funding. So it's bad enough that you have kids, especially, all right, so like in urban areas and city, in Philly, in Baltimore, in Chicago and stuff like that. Philly shut down schools left and right for like 2 years straight. They
shut down schools to build jails. Now, if that don't fucking tell you something.
They shut down schools due to poor funding, and the sad part is the schools that they're shutting down are already overpopulated.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're shutting that down, and you're going to send them to another school, which most of them, for those who don't readily go to Philly all the time, I mean, it's not a 10-minute drive through the city. It can take you on a normal day 30 to 40 minutes to get from one side of the city to the other, if not more. So you're sending these kids from west to south. And now that school's overpopulated. And now these teachers got 30, 40 kids per classroom. How the fuck can you pay attention? So you got 30 kids per classroom. Out of those 30, maybe 6 of them are attentive, hardworking, good students. So those 6 students are going to thrive regardless. Outside of that, there's another like 10 students that are just getting by the skin of their teeth because they play some sort of sport. Okay. And then outside of those 10 students are the rest of the kids that are sitting there, and you really have to pay. How can you pay attention to a kid with a learning disability?
You can't.
There's a child somewhere. And you know what the sad part is? You know what we do? We give them fucking medication. Yeah. You got ADHD. No, motherfucker, I just need a little bit of attention.
Right.
I need somebody to come over here and break it down. You can write X plus Y equals Z and find the common denominator and divide these two by the root of whatever. That makes no fucking sense to me. Come over to my desk, break it down for me, show me what you're trying to show me, and make sense of it to me, because it's a new thing for me. It's old for you, but you don't have the time to do that because there's 39 other kids that need your attention.
Acting the fuck up. Right.
So how the fuck does that work?
They're pretty much playing crowd control.
Right. Right, which brings me back to the prison thing.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much crowd control.
You got like 3 COs for every fucking 20 prisoners.
Right.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to
one
try
person,
to control the whole crowd when it's really 4 people that's causing a problem.
Right, but guess what? When them 4 people act up, you punish the group.
Right. Tear gas coming
because it's easier.
Right. Flashbangs and shit.
I ain't got time to pinpoint who the fuck is fucking up.
Right. Because there's 40 motherfuckers sitting in front of me. So that's the thing. Is like, and I commend our teachers, and I've talked to teachers, ones that I personally know, and they're disgusted with the educational system. The people that work and are the integral part of the educational system fucking hate it.
And
they know the methods aren't working.
And you know what else is happening too? Teachers are getting younger and younger.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling, we're going to go with high school because that's the closest. So you're telling these 16, 17-year-olds that they need to listen to this 23-year-old.
Yeah. All right, well,
get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, you're a couple years older than me, Marissa, right, and you still live at home with your parents.
Facts. Like, there's no type of authoritative figure or anything. You're not going to tell me what to do. You're no older than my older brother. Especially kids that live below the poverty line. So when you get into them city areas, most of them kids, 15, 16, 17 years old, most of them kids are living below the poverty line. They're either helping their mom pay rent, or they're raising themselves.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and that's a real fucking thing. And unfortunately,
put these
the
teachers in
majority, I think the number on that was like 38% of kids below the poverty line drop out of high school. And like out of that 38%, like 20% of them end up in prison. Because why? Because most of them, they can't get a job because they're 15, 16 years old.
Right. So it's the easiest way to make money. Sell drugs.
Sell drugs.
Just like the United States is doing right the fuck now.
So you mean to tell me that you're going to tell a kid 16 years old that's either out there hustling or you know, struggling to live, raising himself, or helping his mom pay rent, your 24-year-old ass is going to tell him to sit down and be quiet? No, that motherfucker just worked until 10 o'clock last night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like bagging up groceries and shit.
And I had to come here and listen to your dumb ass teach me shit that I know I'm not going to fucking need.
You're never going to use.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Encourage, please. Parents, I'm telling you, encourage your kids to go to trade schools. There's so many VOTEC. Cecil County just built a brand new Cecil County School of Tech. And, I mean, Delaware has multiple, St. George's, Howard, Hodson. There's VOTEC schools. Learn a trade. If you don't want to do that trade, if you don't end up following through with that trade as a career path, at least you have a backup plan.
Yeah, but you know what the good thing about vocational school is? Yeah, you might not come out doing that, right? But somebody will pick you up faster having a vocational background than a degree.
They do job placement in vocational school.
That means you're teachable.
Yeah.
I can show you how to build this fucking brick wall.
Right.
I can show you how to put a fucking a brake pad on a car.
You know what? It's funny you say that. So,
because guess
what?
Out
of everything that school ever taught me, so I would say I was in the 7th grade. I was in 7th grade when schools decided to take home economics out of schools.
No, yeah, at least I got that.
I was in the 7th grade, and Cecil County killed funding for home economics courses. So past the 7th grade, I never got a home ec course. But that is probably, I could probably count on one hand how many people out there actually know how to write a fucking check. Like, truly know how to sit down, write a check, balance a checkbook, know how to change the oil of their car, know how to bake a fucking cookie. Like, basic life skills, man. That's the type of shit, like, yeah, all right, teach me this algebra. Tell me what year, you know, Genghis Khan invaded,
you should
whatever.
be teaching me math to show me how to balance this fucking checkbook.
Right. Teach me taxes.
Right.
I'm 31 years old, and I still don't understand fucking how taxes work.
Me neither.
I mean, to an extent, I do. Like,
I understand. I understand the
motherfuckers coming out of my goddamn check.
I understand being a single male making over so much money puts me in a whole new fucking tax bracket.
Mm-hmm. But if you had taught, they could have taught you how to file your taxes,
bro. Let me tell you something that's crazy. So, when I worked at Maine's, right, went to now here. Let me just share something with y'all. Right, like I said earlier, I dropped out of high school, got my GED, went to a 2-year vocational school afterwards to be a mechanic. Never was a mechanic. Lies. I was a mechanic for 3 months when I worked at Willis Ford
in Middletown.
Willis Chevrolet in fucking Middletown.
And then as soon as they changed over, they got rid of you.
Yo, so we come in one day. And they're like, hey, man, GM's coming in. Everybody be on their best behavior. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Just that and the third. We come in. Everybody's turning wrenches. Everybody, excuse me. Make sure you got your gloves on. Like, everybody's running immaculate. They leave. GM leaves. Boss comes out. Man, yeah, we had a good review. Everybody's doing great. Cool. High fives all around. Right, high fives all around. Come back in the next day. So, morning, guys. Morning. So, we need to speak to anybody who hasn't been here over a year. That's like 6 of us. We're all looking at each other like, what the fuck happened?
Like, damn, bro.
We all go into the office. And this is how I knew it was real, because they just called us all in at one time. Wasn't
they did a
right?
group
Yeah,
firing.
it wasn't individuals.
A group fire.
So we walk into the fucking thing, and they're like, so because technically we're a sister company, GM is making us downsize, and we have to let anybody go who hasn't been here over a year. Sorry, guys. Hope everything works out for you. If you could just please grab your toolboxes and vacate the premises.
Get the fuck out of my building. Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
I just paid
never worked as a mechanic after that ever.
Never worked as a mechanic again. But you know what I did do? I became a satellite technician. I installed DirecTV. I became SPCA certified for satellites. Then that company fired me because I was fat. I'll be real.
You were scared of heights.
They didn't want to. But then I got hired at another company who I was upfront and honest. Like, bro, I'm SPCA certified. I can install. I know what I'm doing. I don't do ladders. I was the only technician at that company who trained motherfuckers from the ground. Never touched a ladder the whole time I was there. And my installs were fucking immaculate. My installs were so good, my boss would call me on the weekend like, bro, you trying to make some extra money? Nigga, yes, you know I'm trying to make some extra money. The fuck? Yeah, I'm trying to make extra money. What we got to do? He's like, yo, we got to rewire this entire house for cable. I'll give you $400 cash when we get done. Say less, I'm there. Like, school didn't teach me that shit.
Nope. Experience teach you shit like that.
Right. And I only got that experience because I went to a vocational school that said that I was teachable. This shit was fucking bananas. Now, fast forward to today. I worked at Amazon. Me and Kitchen worked together at fucking Kildare's for a while, doing bullshit. Then
easy money.
Yeah, it was cake. But then we go to, a couple, like, I've been driving for 5 years now? Yeah, so we go 5 years.
That long?
Yeah. Matter of fact, it'll be 5 years exactly January 21st.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I worked at Amazon.
That shit was like 3 years.
Warehouse job.
Tops.
They had a program called Career Choice, and I advise anybody who works at Amazon to take full fucking advantage of this. Amazon will pay you not to fucking work for them. What?
Mm-hmm. And I know half of y'all motherfuckers that work there is complaining about it because I know it's shitty to work for them.
Amazon's a shitty company to work for.
Consumer but they'll take care of you.
Amazing. Love Amazon as a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Employee?
Fuck that.
Nope. I got arthritis in my ankle now at 34 years old because of Amazon.
I got the arthritis.
I got the sugars in my arm too.
Motherfucker lost like 40 pounds though when he was working there.
Facts, dog. Walking that 1,000,000 square foot fucking warehouse. But
big ass motherfucking.
Amazon has a program called Career Choice where you can pick anything to do. They will pay for it up to, if you pick like a college course, I think they pay up to like $3,000 per course. But you can't pick in now here's the kicker. You can't pick anything that would help you excel in their company. So you can't go for business, accounting, shit like that. Right. But
there's always a catch.
There's always a catch. But they had a CDL program. I wanted to get my CDL since I was 16. I just want to be in a lot of fucking trouble. Me and my boy Avery did it. We literally went through the whole course, right? We could only do weekends because we worked at Amazon during the week. So we did the course on weekends. It was a $5,000 course. Amazon cut that company, cut that school a check.
Said, please get these motherfuckers out of my warehouse.
Right? We start, boom, we go through 3 months. Now, if we were able to go straight through, it would have been 21 days.
Right.
Right? So it was equivalent of going on the weekends. It took us 3 months. But in 3 months, I doubled my yearly income.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Avery, I swear to God, bro, true story. Me and Avery got our licenses January 21st. Took the rest of the day off from work. Walked back in January 22nd. We clocked in, walked around, said bye to everybody. Walked to the Amazon office and took the buyout. Never went back. school did nothing for me. Well, other than the training me to drive. But
Right.
that had nothing to do with traditional school. And now here's the crazy part. So I was making $24,000 a year working at Amazon. My first year driving, I made $50,000. My second year driving, I made $62,000. My third year driving, I made $89,000. Nigga, that was the most money I ever seen in my fucking life. We were making money hand over fucking fist. The company I
You
worked
were
at,
acting a motherfucking fool.
you wanna know how? You wanna know how I know I was acting a fool? Because we went out one night and Kitchen was like, "Yo, bro, how much is that drink?" I said, "Nigga, I don't know. I just paid my tab at the end of the night." Like he said, "That's your fucking problem right there." I was like, "Sorry."
You know what? You know what though? Now that I think about it, so if you outside of elementary school, so take it past elementary school into like secondary school, middle, high school, that or junior high, what everybody, I don't know what everybody calls it in there. I don't even know what some people consider.
Bear me, bro.
Eighth grade high school.
High school, duh, nigga.
That's the weirdest thing. But
Somebody tried to tell me that 8th grade, they was like, "Nah, man, you go to such and such for 6th and 7th, and then you go 8th, 9th." I was like, "What fucking school did you go to?" Because I went to school. My grade school
12.
stopped at 6. Then I went to middle
that
school.
was weird for me because my grade school stopped at 5.
Then you had 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8.
No, see, yeah, it was 6th grade. Then it stopped. Then when I went to 7th and 8th, and then high school was 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah, I
did 7th grade twice.
I think if you treated high school or I don't want to say middle school because I still feel like it's kind of early and you're still developmental at that point. But almost treat high school like college. If they were to treat high school like college to where you can pick your course
of action
that you want to go, like where you want to follow, the path that you want to follow. Like, let's say, so-and-so wants to be a fucking marine biologist. You take your prereqs, you take your math, you take your English or whatever. But then the rest of your day is focused on subjects that will guide you down the path. That right there would, like, if you wanted to be a music major,
right,
and you spent 3 periods a day doing math, English, science,
and then the rest of the day,
of your day on music, whether it be music theory, music history, music this, music that. Bro, at least it involves music and it's something that you're involved in and you like and you enjoy, and your grades will prosper. And then you carry that. It almost works as college prep because you carry that into college if that's the path you so choose. But that, I mean, all right, look, I don't have a fucking PhD, and I figured that out in 5 minutes. Like, it's not that fucking hard. The same structure they've been using since fucking school was school is still now to this day.
The Amish only go to school to like 6th grade.
Yeah, because they know past that point, they know that
you only need basic math,
right?
And then after that, you just got to plow these fucking fields.
Yeah, you're just working,
right?
Motherfucking draw that, get that horse and fucking churn that butter.
But I tell you what, though, I go to the Amish market. Them niggas do math faster than I've seen.
Fast as shit.
They be like, you got two rump roast? Mm-hmm. Okay, pound of bacon? Mm-hmm. Three. 28 what? Oh, I'm sorry, 28.20. I'm like, God damn. First off, how did you even get to 20 cents? Because I'd have been lost. Like, like, where's my fucking calculator?
I was already confused after 2 rump roasts.
Right. The 2 rump roasts was 9, so that make 18.
I think that's the approach, man. Like, really, you need basic math. Addition, subtraction, division, all that stuff.
And I feel like that's it.
That's it.
Unless
if you enjoy math like that and you want to fucking go to do that, yeah, go ahead and do calculus and fucking trigonometry and all that. Me, I
don't need none of that.
I fucking hate math. I hate it. If I'm not counting money, I don't want anything else outside of that. I don't care.
Right.
But I think that's the case. Like, something that really interests me when I was in school was computers and architectural shit.
Yeah.
I took 3 different CAD classes in high school and those were like extra credits. They weren't required. I took an engineering and design. I took a CAD 1, CAD 2, and an architectural engineering class in my high school. All 4 years I did those. And I enjoyed those classes. It was fun for me because it's something that I like doing. But outside of that, other than gym, I didn't give a fuck about history. I'm not going to say I didn't give a fuck because social studies is kind of a broad subject. So it's like, I know when I was in high school, you had to have U.S. history, world history, and then like one other history course. And then there was other social studies courses like psychology, sociology, and that sort of thing. And I took sociology and psychology, and I thrived in them courses. They were great because I had to do a full report on John Wayne Gacy and fucking serial killers and shit like that. Like that to me is interesting. But learning about fucking Andrew Jackson and
don't give no fuck.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I know when the Declaration was signed. All right, John Hancock, I get it. It's not John Hancock, it's Herbie Hancock. I know that stuff. I know my basics. I know my U.S. history. But outside of that, like, I teach myself that shit, man. I read up on it. If it's something that I want to know, like, I will go on my computer and read up on it.
Yeah, if it's something I'm interested in.
Right. But outside of that, keep it.
Like, people know they can talk to me all day about electronics.
Right.
So that's all I do is sit around and read shit about electronics and what's coming out.
You could talk to me all day about sports, some of the economy and shit like that, like, electronics, like those are conversations I'll get into. Right. Yeah, that I'll get into politics to an extent. Like that's stuff now that I'm interested in. But I've taught myself more than I ever learned in school.
Right, and I feel like kids would be way better off if they could make that career path, not so much at an early age, but if you just kind of gave them that choice, and maybe 10th grade. They say, hey, I want to be a bioengineer. So that's a career path they take. Right. And then they get to 11 and they're like, that wasn't cool. That was way too much.
I'm feeling it. I'm going to choose a new path.
But guess what? Even if they choose 3 different paths before they graduate, that's 3 different things that they now have access to that they can always refer back to.
Right. And if they leave high school and they're like, you know what, that bioengineering wasn't so bad, then they major in that in college. And they already got a head start. That's the problem. And then I don't even know the numbers for the people that drop out of college, but I know those numbers got to be up there too because
got to be fucking astronomical.
Not only is it a culture shock.
And not only do they drop out of college, but you still owe that fucking money back.
Yeah, you still got to you figure I think University of Delaware now is like $40,000 a year for out of state students. $40,000 a year. Yeah, if you're going for any more than an associate, you go for that's $160,000 for those who can't do quick math for a bachelor's degree. You want a bachelor's degree? 160 stacks
for a maybe.
Boom, just like that.
For a maybe.
For a maybe, and not even, and that's just then after that. If you want to go get your master's, chances are you're not going to stick with UAD. You're going to go to some kind of grad school, and that's going to be more for your graduate programs. And then you're going to get your master's at $60 a year.
Right. And
so there's another 120.
Right. Going to a well-known name school.
Right. You know. I decided University of Delaware wasn't for me. I want to go to Johns Hopkins.
Right. Because the crazy part is they're probably not going to teach you no more than a fucking community college down the fucking road, but because they have such a big fucking name, they know they can get the money out of you.
You know, they said Cecil Community College. Well, it's not considered Cecil Community College anymore. It's Cecil College because they paired up with UMBC and they have 4-year programs. But it's actually one of the best nursing programs in the state.
I believe it.
One of the best nursing programs in the state, and it's probably
let me tell you something.
A third of the price of a university.
You know why I push trade so much on people? Not because I tell everybody to say fuck school, but because that doctor that makes $250,000 a year is always going to need somebody to come and fix their fucking toilet.
He's also going to need somebody to pave the road to get him to his fucking school, to his hospital.
Or if his refrigerator goes down, Or if his AC unit goes down, he's going to need a motherfucker to crawl in that crawl space to come fix it.
Yep. He ever has any kind of asbestos issues or water damage or...
He's not going to get up there and do it himself.
Nope.
People are always going to buy cars. They're always going to need fixing.
Right.
People are always going to get sick. People are always dying. People are always being born. These are... I drive 18-wheelers. People are always ordering shit. As much as y'all motherfuckers hate trucks, stop ordering shit, and guess what? We won't have a career.
I'm not going to stop ordering.
I will still be on that motherfucking road to my son. Like,
I love Amazon.
It's things that people are always going to need.
That's
if you
the
can
biggest thing.
Capitalize it. Because think about it.
How many marine biologists do you think are needed right now?
But guess what?
You know what I mean?
You know how many plumbers are fucking needed?
Right. That's what. Yeah, exactly. That's what. Teachers. More teachers.
Right.
Just literally on the subject of the schooling system. Teachers are needed. Classrooms are overpopulated. They don't have a workforce big enough to take. And on top, not only just any teachers, bilingual teachers.
Yes.
I wish I would
literally. I wish I'd have took Spanish seriously in school.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like, that's something that, like, diversity, man. There's got to be more diversity in the schools, and that's another way that the school system fails us, is because, unfortunately, out of the population of kids below the poverty line that drop out of high school, I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar that's predominantly Hispanic and Black.
Yeah, because minorities.
Exactly.
Because you can't be Chinese and not graduate.
Hell no. Yeah, no, you be disowned. And that's not stereotypical. That's for real.
Yeah. How many Asians did we know that came into Kildare's? And
a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? And they were all studying to be lawyers, doctors.
That's it.
Like the top of the top of the top. And here's another thing too.
They were all driving Audi R8s.
And you know why? You know why they were driving those cars? Because their parents bought them for them. Because they didn't want them to worry about anything other than graduating.
Right. Which
makes sense.
And you know what the sad part is? The sad part is most you go to University of Delaware. Drive through University of Delaware campus during the summertime. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see some high school kids visiting and shit like that. But you know what else you're going to see? You're going to see packs upon packs of Indian and Chinese students that are taking summer courses to make sure that they are ahead of the game when their fucking semester rolls around, because they're going to succeed. Our schooling system is not like, the education is there. It's just
the way it's presented.
The way it's.
Aren't you glad I changed the subject tonight?
So,
because this nigga wanted to talk about the top. But we're going to talk about that during the after show. But yeah, the school system,
because
to me.
Chris Brown is the new Michael Jackson.
Yo,
fight me.
Let's stay on subject real quick. Sure, let's stay on subject so we can finish up and go smoke a cigarette and come back and talk our shit.
That's what I want to do, because we got like 5 minutes.
Yo, we do pretty. Show. Yeah, we do pretty well with these shows.
Yeah, I feel like because both of us have a hard time shutting the fuck up.
Fact, especially when we started going. You see me just sitting over, I was like,
yeah,
yeah. But it all. To recap everything, the school system
sucks,
my man, and it's also completely fucked.
Yeah,
all right.
Poor structure.
It caters to one type of learner.
Zero funding.
And these teachers are getting younger and younger, which doesn't help either. Give me the old Mrs. Brown or, Mrs. McCackle.
Yeah.
From down the old
she
teacher.
got big Coke bottle glasses.
Right. But she know what she's talking about.
She's still threatening to smack you with a ruler and shit.
I had this teacher, Mr. Smith, back in 8th grade. I love him and I will never forget him, and I hope he's doing good. He recognized that I didn't learn like everybody else.
Oh my God. All right. So before you go too far, I got to give my shout out now. And hopefully she's watching, because we are Facebook friends. Mrs. Brown. thank God for her, because I would have never passed my 10th grade history class if not for her, because she realized that I needed that extra attention. And she was just kind of in the class as like help at the time, I believe. Mm-hmm. I can't remember vividly. Don't curse me out if I'm wrong, Ms. Brown. But I love that woman to death. I mean, she lived literally for Jake's mom.
Jake's mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she lived like 4 houses down. So when I first went into high school, I still lived in Stony Chase. And then we moved to Timberbrook like the following year. And from that point on, Mrs. Brown was like four doors down from me. Her husband is also an awesome fucking person. He's the principal at Elkton High School, Mr. Brown. I mean, they're just phenomenal people. This woman invited me over for Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know how many fucking times to come over and have dinner with the family and stuff like that. Like, wonderful woman, but actually realized that I was having a hard time learning from Dr. Bollinger, and took the extra time out to work with me on the side to make sure that I prospered. And that, you need more people like that. You need more people like that take the time out for you. More teachers like Mrs. Brown and
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith.
So he realized I didn't learn, right? He was a social studies teacher. Mm-hmm. He realized I didn't learn like everybody else. But he also recognized that I was smart. I knew what I was talking about. Mm-hmm. I might came off unconventional, but I could always back my point and have.
You can argue with the best of them.
Right. So you know what he would do? He would let me teach the class.
That's dope.
So I would come in and he would be like, "Matt, you teaching today?" I'd be like, "Am I?" And he would sit in his chair and put his feet up on the desk. And he would just let me go. And but
like Trey from Boys in the Hood.
Yes. I loved him because
African booty scratcher.
I never got bored. I never got bored. I wanted to go to his class. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't the type of person to be like, "Well, I'll let you do this, so, go ahead." If I got stuck,
he would help me.
He would help me.
That's kind of the point that we've been trying to get at, is like making it interesting. So my freshman year of high school, I had a history teacher, Mr. Burns. And Mr. Burns was everything but conventional.
Bear me, bro.
Oh, all right. I just opened this one. Hey, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, man.
Was everything but conventional. Used to walk around with the beer hat on. Had the thing in the straws, and he would put his Pepsis in them, and he would walk around class with that on. If kids would fall asleep in the class, he would like walk over and like shake his ass next to the desk and bump the desk and be like, the book of life, wake up, wake up. Like, he made it fun. He did shit that would get a laugh out of you, get a rise out of you, kept it interesting outside of just the informational aspect of everything. Mm-hmm. So, like, at that point, he has your attention. He has your attention because he did something funny, or he told a joke, or, he, pulled a prank on one of the kids in the class or something like that. And he has your attention now. So now you're more likely to pay attention to him to see if he's going to do something else, even if he's just talking all the, historical shit that you didn't want to hear in the first place. But now your eyes are on him.
Right.
He has your full 100%.
And if you're not really paying attention, teacher. If somebody can
got to keep it interesting.
If somebody can keep it interesting, things, because that's the word I was looking for, you're going to retain some of that knowledge.
At least some of it, and that helps.
If not all of it, something's going to sink in, and you might not even know that it's sinking in until it comes up again later on. And you're like, wait a minute, I know that.
That in high school, you figure the average high school, your average high school students are between the ages of 13 and 18. That is first of all, is that a very
pivotal years.
It's pivotal. It's a delicate time because your hormones and the way you're just like really figuring yourself out and shit like that when you hit that 13, 14 age. But then the split between like when you were a senior and you're watching these little freshmen running around, you're like, I remember when I was that little guy over there. Like, because your maturity level is at a whole new different peak when you hit 17, 18 years old. So there's such a wide range of maturity levels and personalities and hormonal balances and stuff like that. So being a high school teacher is no, short task at all. But you have to know, like, the only thing I can compare it to is like being a comedian. So you're on the stage and you're not going to treat the audience in Chicago the same way you would treat the audience in Des Moines, Iowa.
Right.
Because you have to work your audience, because you have to know your demographic and know what you're working with. Like, you could tell, a couple jokes about how this, that, and the third in Chicago, and you get a good laugh. That joke ain't going to hit in Des Moines because they don't know anything about urban areas and cities and the murder rate and shit like that and yada, yada, yada. So you have to know, like, you might have a freshman U.S. history course, second period, and then you're teaching, 12th grade psychology course in third period.
Psychologically?
Yeah, psychologically. You're teaching a psychology course. You have to treat those classes differently, not just off of the material itself, but like how you get them to respond to your material.
Right.
And that's where some teachers have to find themselves, and not everybody's built to do it, man. Not everybody's built to do it. No bullshit, I actually thought about being a teacher at one point in time. And then I realized honestly, I couldn't get down with like kids and stuff like I'm too impulsive. And I think that's my problem is
I curse a lot.
That's what I mean. I'm too impulsive. So like if I'm sitting in class and somebody's talking in the back of the class, I'm like, yo, man, you want to shut the fuck up and learn?
Facts. That's exactly
like, you know what I mean? Like, we can step outside if you don't like it.
Bro, you got an issue?
Yeah.
Flip this whole fucking table over.
Good?
I ain't your daddy, but I beat you like that, nigga.
I'll spike you in the head with this motherfucking pencil.
And, okay, so here comes the shit talking. So, on to the after show.
Yeah.
We're going to go smoke a cigarette, yo.
Hell yeah.
Recap real quick the school system.
Because he's starting to feel it because he ain't had no meat in a day. This motherfucker, man, I'm going to save it for the after show. I won't talk shit. I'm going to save it.
So, it's your boy Black Man's a Black Opinionated podcast. You know where to find me at. Black Velvet, Liquid Sugar. Liquid Sugar. Oh, we just got to do that. We literally got to come on one night and do that fucking show. We're going to turn the lights down.
Yo, I'll get 2 blue lights.
Word.
And like a couple red lights and we'll mix it up.
We come in here and be like.
Or I could just get like 4 purple lights.
That'd be dope.
Because blue and red make purple. I learned that in school.
See? The color wheel.
Actually, I learned that in cosmetology school because I have to.
Oh, yeah, for color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see, it's more than you learn in regular fucking school.
Yeah. That's what purple cancels out yellow.
Yeah, it's complementaries, fucking rudimentary, like there's all kinds of shit. I just learned that shit.
You just said fucking rudimentary. End the show.
Shut your mouth.
All right, guys, bye. I fucking hate you.